Good evening, friends, and welcome to Fun Fold Friday. My name is Dorene Decibus, and I'm from It Begins with Ink and Paper, and I am so happy that you're able to join me tonight for my live presentation. Thank you for all your kind words and comments about me recovering from my surgery. It's certainly going better than it was a week ago. I'm 2 weeks out of my surgery now, and I really am starting to feel much better. So thank you for all those kind words that people have messaged me and sent me. Well, tonight we're going to have a lot of fun with one of my favorite bundles in the new catalog. Actually, I could say suites because it also has designer series paper and ribbon that goes with it. And that is the Zany Zoo bundle. Everyone needs some whimsical stamp sets and some stamp sets that you can use for children's cards or just to make someone laugh, and the Zany Zoo set is definitely one of those sets. You can see all the clever, cute images, and then we have some music notes, some stars and confetti, and 3 sentiments. Something great to celebrate. You're too wonderful. Happy birthday to you. So I love this collection. It also has a set of dies that go with it that will cut out these little creatures, and we've got clouds, we've got a little table, we've got flowers, more flowers, we've got a vase here, balloons, more flowers, a little Christmas tree. So lots of great images and dies to go along with it. So tonight, that is the bundle we're going to be using. I also want to take a moment to show you the wonderful designer series paper, because I'm actually using images from the designer series paper that I just fussy cut out, and I'll show you those in a minute. But what I really love about this paper is that it has some images like the pig down here. Let me just move him up a little bit so you can see him. That's all colored in except for his backpack. And then there are other images like the lion here that only his tree stump and his forest little fire, not forest fire, but little campfire is colored in. And again, we have other images that only partially are colored in. On the back of each of these papers, there's a really beautiful, cute, zany black and white design. So this one just has some little flowers. Here we have a sheet that has all dancers. So if you've got some dancers in your lives, we have a hippo, we have, I think this might be a cat, a cheetah, a deer, sheep, all these little dancing characters with a dotted background. How can you not love this sloth doing yoga? And the llama knitting, such cute. So we have a hedgehog painting, we have a mountain goat who's cooking, a bear that's doing some reading. Again, just adorable characters. And then on the other side, we have another black and white design. On this side, on this page, we have kind of like the celebrating characters. We have the raccoon with balloons, and the dog with all of the confetti around him, the aardvark giving a present, the koala bear with some cupcakes and working with those, just adorable, and the elephant with the banner. So really, really cute ideas with a star background. This one, I think I've said before on another card I've made on a Fun Fold Friday, my favorite character from all of this is the alligator, or maybe it's a crocodile. I call it Lyle, Lyle the crocodile from the famous children's story that was like my favorite book growing up. But we have the alligator, this adorable fox. We have the bunny rabbit. We have a swan. We have the anteater. So some great characters. And on the back side of this one, oh, excuse me for this phone call. Hello. All set. Sorry about that. UPS is here to deliver a package. I hope it's a Stampin' Up package. So I apologize for that. So we have this great set of characters here and a nice zigzag or chevron design. This one you can see I've already cut a character out. I've used the other half of the sheet up already, but we have all of the musical characters here. So we have the bear with the accordion, the raccoon with the drums. Look at that frog with the flute, and we have the turtle with a microphone, so he's singing away, and you'll be surprised to see which one I cut out. It's actually the rhino, not the rhino. I'll think of what he's called. So those are all of the different papers that come with the suite. So tonight's card, we are going to need the following materials. So what I've already fussy cut out are these 4 characters. I don't know if I'm going to use them all, but what I'm going to be doing is giving them a stage to perform. So we have the band and we have the singer. So we have our 4 characters, and like I said, all I did was fussy cut. I just took my scissors and cut them out. So nothing too difficult there with that. Then we are going to start with a piece of basic black cardstock. We will be scoring this in just a minute, but it measures 8.5 by 5.5. You are also going to need 2 strips of the designer series paper. I'm using like these elongated dots, and those both measure 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. And remember, I am going to be posting this in the comments, and I'll be posting it in the description on my YouTube channel. So you will be able to see those really well. Let me just straighten out my paper. You're also going to need a piece of basic white cardstock that is I think it's 4 by 5 1/4. Yes, 4 by 5 1/4. You are also going to need a piece of Lagoon that measures 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. You're going to need another piece of white, basic white, that measures 3 by 4 1/4. You're going to need a scrap of white to cut out a nestled essential die label. And then from Pool Party, I have cut the curtain out of the dies. So that is what we're going to be using tonight. So let's start with our basic black cardstock. I do want to mention, before I forget, I did not come up with this card design. I actually took, I love taking other people's classes because it just gives me a chance to just be a crafter and have someone else come up with the ideas and someone else be able to cut the cardstock for me and send it to me, and I get so happy about that. And so this, and I just want to make sure I give the artist credit, this stamp camp was from, I'm going to say her last name wrong, so I'm hoping I am not going to do that. It is from Michelle Litweiler. So I do hope that I said that has lots of projects. And let me show you one thing before I go on. She sent a little gift along with the stamp camp, has a little snack in it. So this is one of our in color envelopes. She actually stamped the hippo and colored it in and put "You're Too Wonderful," and then inside, this is so cool, is a package of animal crackers. How cool is that? What a great snack. I am going to use this at school for my advisory. I know I will. I just thought that was cool and wanted to share that. So this is from a design made by Michelle Litweiler. All right, so I am going to score this at 2 1/8 inch, and then I am going to score it at 4, let me just make sure, 2 1/8 and 4 1/4. There we go. Let me move my score pal out of the way, or my scoreboard. It's one of those tools I can't live without. I just really use it a lot. The same with my bone folders. There's just certain tools that I can't live without. So in the 4 1/4 score mark, I'm just going to use my bone folder, and I'm going to, let's see if that just, there we go. Just get you more on the screen. I'm just going to crease that fold, and then I am going to take this 2 1/8 fold and fold it inward as well, so that they've been folded in the same direction, and we get kind of this little tint, if you can see when I turn it sideways. So, and then what I'm going to do, remember I said I'm going to make a stage for these characters to perform on. I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal, and I am going to put this designer series paper on the top and the 2 sections that I made on the front of the card. So on the top and on the bottom. This is where, for the design of this card, this is where this type of background would be much more appropriate than putting the characters in as a background. So I'm using the back side of the designer series paper. I actually had to buy more than one package because I realized I was going to use the back side as much as the front side, and I just didn't want to not have enough. So that might be something you want to do as well. So let's put together first the inside card, because I want to show you where this makes it to be a stage. So I'm going to take this piece of basic white cardstock, and I'm going to put this on the inside. This is going to be where I could write my message, send a little greeting, but instead I'm going to use this and the nestled label die actually to hold up my stage. So if you can see what I mean by that, where it's going to look like this. So let me show you in a little more detailed. So I'm going to take my Memento black ink. That's the only ink I need for this. I've mounted Something Great to Celebrate You, though I always pre-stamp to make sure it is straight, and it is straight. So I can now stamp my labeled. And again, this is the Nestled Essential label. There we go. Let me just put the lid on because I don't want to get anything into that black ink. And then what I'm going to do is take some dimensionals, and let me just find, I just have so many dimensionals lying around on my desk. Let me just make sure I'm grabbing the right ones. All right, so I'm going to take my dimensionals and I'm going to pop this up a little bit because I want to be able to have this hold open the card in like a stage view of all of our little animal friends. So I'll remove the backing of the dimensionals. And I'm just going to center this towards the bottom so that you can see that once I have everything open, this is going to hold it in place. So now let's do the stage and get that all ready. And I'm going to be doing some coloring on my animals. So I am going to take this little guy, this page here, and I'm going to actually put the borders of the curtain in the top of the stage on my paper first, because I really need to know where this is to place my little guys. So my little performers. So I'm going to start with the curtain. This is in Pool Party. And then I'm going to take my top rod of the curtain and add that right over my curtain and right to the end of the piece. And then I'm going to just trim that excess piece off. And there I have my stage all set up. Now, before I add anything else, I want to look at my little guys and see where I want to add them, even before I color it. So maybe my bear would be right there. My frog, maybe standing right next to the bear. I will have my, let's see, my boar. I'll put over here at the edge of it, and maybe I will have my turtle a little bit off stage. We'll see, because I do want, I'll have to see. These fit nicely. So, okay. So while I have them here in place, I am actually going to take my black ink pad again, and I'm going to take the musical notes and I'm going to stamp those on the background. There we go. All right. This one is all colored in, but let's get these two colored in a little more. I could keep them exactly the way they are, but I do want to have some color. So I am going to use for the, let's start with the bear. I am going to color the bear using the pecan pie blends. So I have them right here. Remember, our blends come in packages of 2. They're sold for $9 a piece, and they come in a dark and a light. I always start coloring with my light. So I am going to open up like the paintbrush end, and I am going to color his face, add a little bit to his ears. I love the blending pens because they actually make me feel like an artist. And there's not many mediums that make me feel that way, because I am not good at shading with colored pencils and other things. And with the blends, they color so smoothly that not only do I, if I want to, I can do some blending, but I also can just color them. And I get this beautiful image all said and done. So I'm going to just color him in. I'm going to leave the center of his belly white. And afterwards, if I want to add any shading, I can do that. And what I do is I will add it in the dark and then blend it with the light. So I'm actually happy with how he looks right now. So I'm just going to leave him like that. And then I'm going to use my, let's see, I'm going to use my gray granite. And again, I have a dark and a light. And for my boar's ears, I'm going to use petal pink. And I'm going to just use the dark on this one because the petal pink is so incredibly light that I feel I can do the inside of his ears with just the light color showing, with, you know, using the dark, having that light show. All right, so I am going to color the body of the boar with the light gray granite, and I'm going to color the tail and his hair in the darker. I think I might even color his nose pink. Let's see. I'm going to leave his horns white. I don't know about any of you, but coloring can be so relaxing, especially when you know you're going to have this beautiful image afterwards. So again, I'm using the paintbrush edge. I usually use the smaller end when I'm coloring really petite places. So just going to color this in. But you can see how you can't see where the lines are. Just so cute. And then I'm going to take my darker one and I'm going to go back in. Now I'm going to use the smaller because I'm going to be going to this tail, which is very narrow. And then I'm going to just color in the darker pieces of the hair using the darker shade. They coordinate because they're just different shades of the same color. And I'm actually going to do the same thing on his hoofs. Okay, and I think I'm going to give this guy a little pink nose. There we go. Okay, so everything's colored, so let's start putting this card together. So I am going to layer our stage onto the piece of Lost Lagoon cardstock. I'm so happy this color came back. All right. And then, and I've made a decision what I'm going to do with the little turtle. So I am going to, I think I'm just going to put these down flat. I'm not going to put any dimension behind them. So I'm going to put the boar right here so he can fit in between all of that, those music notes like we did. And I'm going to put the bear over here. I'm going to add our little frog. Oh my goodness, I lost his foot. So let me put the frog there, and let's use a glue dot and do a nice little fixing upper. So I'm just going to kind of roll the glue dot so it's not as big. And I'm going to put it on the back of his foot. And then I am going to stick it right back on. There we go. No one will know the difference. Well, you will all know the difference. And then on my card, when I attach it to the front, I only want to attach the bottom of my sheet of singers. So I'm going to add some Stampin' Seal. I'm going to center this on the card so when it stands up, the stage part of the card is going to appear upwards like this, if you can see. And the little turtle, what do you think? Should he be right here in the front? He's the one I'm going to add dimensions to. And I am going to put him right on the front of the card. Oh, what a cute card. And again, I want to just remind you, this was not my original design. I actually took a class with another demonstrator named Michelle Litweller, and this is her idea. So here is the front of our card, and then we can open it up so that we see the stage. And I'll turn it sideways so that you can see that as well. Okay, last thing, we got to add some bling. So I am going to be using the ombre matte decorative dots. And let me just take them out of the package. And you can see that we have some beautiful calypso, not calypso coral, that's up here. We have some of the pool party. So let's take and add, I'm going to go with a lighter one. Maybe put one down here. And two of them up here. And there we go. We have our stage card fun fold, our stage fun fold card. I hope you've enjoyed this card tonight, and I, of course, will be back next Friday. But I also want to tell you that I will be back on Sunday night. Starting this Sunday, I am going to be starting a new series called Simply Stamping Sunday. I did this series maybe over a year ago, and I'm going to change the format up a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to work with cards that use just the basics: stamps, ink, and paper. And I'm going to show you how you can make beautiful cards with not a lot of materials. This class is definitely geared toward the beginner stamper, but even an experienced stamper is going to learn tips and techniques that they may or may not know. You might see some fun folds because you don't need much to do a fun fold, and we're going to be just talking about the art of just basic stamping. So I hope you come to join me Sunday night at 7 p.m. on my Facebook page. It'll be posted to my YouTube channel afterwards. And for the month of July, I'm going to be using the ink and tiled stamp set. And I will be using the Soft Subtles color family. And I'll be using the same set and the same color palette for the entire month. So I hope you're able to join me. Take care, everyone. Have a great weekend. And I'll see you Sunday night at Simply Stamping Sunday, or next Friday for another edition of Fun Fold Friday. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.